All right, what's going on, people? It's your boy Travis, Horror Movies Uncut. How we doing? Welcome to the first episode of the video podcast version of Submissions and Slashers podcast. I am, of course, your host, Travis Brown from Horror Movies Uncut, and today we are going to be talking about the lovely Fantastic Fest 2021, or 22, sorry, that just ended last week. I was there for an entire 10 days, and let me tell you, I had a fantastic time. I'm so excited to talk to you guys about what was going on down in Fantastic Fest. There were tons of movies to see. Me personally, over 25 movies is what I watched in the matter of 7 to 10 days. And while my mind is still trying to put everything and piece everything together, I am chopping out reviews. Wrapped up some interviews while I was down there, and I mean, we'll get all into it as we kind of talk about what was going on down in Fantastic Fest. I am so happy you are here. Welcome. I'm going to be doing this on so many different levels with the video, so you're going to be able to watch this as a live feed on the social media networks for Horror Movies Uncut, and then we will also have these uploaded to our YouTube channel so that you can come back and rewatch this. Of course, if you can, if you're watching this on the YouTube, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button so you know every single time one of these videos will drop. And yeah, man, we're going to get into it, talking about Fantastic Fest 2022. So first and foremost, everybody is saying, Travis, what is Fantastic Fest? Well, what Fantastic Fest is a combination of genre films that are all coming together from various regions of the globe with one intention to entertain. And one of the things that I'll say about Fantastic Fest, I've been covering for more than 10 years. This is the second time I was able to attend one of the festivals. In regards to movies, it's so amazing that they can just find this group of films that's just so pleasing, not only to the eye, but the people who enjoy the smart horror films and sci-fi films and action films and fantasy films. They're there. For the people who want that mind-numbing, I don't care, I just want to see violence and mayhem, action films, horror films, romantic thrillers, black comedies, they're there. Fantastic Fest, they get them all the time. To be invited to an event like this, I am so thankful to Tim League, Annika, everybody from the festival for allowing us to come down, be a part of this, all the vendors, staff, volunteers. Big shout out to my homegirl Nikki and the people for taking care of us the entire time we were there, and of course the staff of the South Lamar Alamo Drafthouse Theater for taking care of us while we were down there too. It's not possible to be able to get through so many films, have so much stuff going on without an amazing group of people guiding you, keeping you focused, letting you know where you should be going and what you should be doing the entire time. Great job with the app for the phone. I was able to navigate not only the films as I was watching them, but I am still going back to them to make sure I get all of my reviews done. So yeah, I just had to right off the bat go into saying thank you to all the people from Fantastic Fest that was involved, because it really was a great festival. And it's so crazy because you try not to say fantastic when you're talking about the festival. It's so hard not to. So it makes sense. But yo, Submissions and Slashers, man, we here. Video, what's good, people? It's your boy. Told you guys we'd be rocking into the video. And what better way to kick off this new season of the Submissions and Slashers than talking about what was going on in Fantastic Fest and then how that leads into where we are right now, which is October. Yes, let's go, people. We are in October. You know what that means. Horror movies galore all over the place going on. You guys are in the spirit. I already see you out there posting everything. Everybody's in the spirit. So if I was to say what was my favorite film, that's where we'll kick off and just get right into the movies off the bat for Fantastic Fest. As I think of it more and more, and I've been battling back and forth between like a group of films, It's really hard for me not to think of the film Piggy as my favorite film of the festival. It's really hard for me not to think of the movie Hunt as my favorite film of the festival. Husera, The Offering, just so many great things. Sick. Really, I think Holy Spider just blew me away so much that it's hard for the film not to stand out. And like so many of these movies, there's just little pieces that, they took from me when I was watching the films that I'm never going to be able to forget. Um, but with a film like Holy Spider, it was the top of the food chain. So Holy Spider is an Iranian film, and it's involving this reporter who goes back to her hometown, and there is a rash of killings going on with women of the night, prostitutes. She's investigating the story, in a sense, kind of helping the cops figure out who might be this killer. They find out who the killer is, and then you get to see just layers and layers and layers of this amazing tale, like played right in front of you. And it's involving two parts. The first part is this graphic underbelly, really seedy, very dark feeling, kind of hard to watch introduction to the film, where you get to see how the prostitutes are and kind of like the life that they're living. And then you kind of get introduced to the killer. And then the second half of the film kind of becomes almost a political, very court-driven episode where our killer is kind of being looked at as a hero to some people, including members of his own family, for what he's doing, which is essentially cleansing the streets of what's going on. So it was such a thick, which is such a simple word, but the best way for me to explain movie, that I just cannot stop watching it the entire time. It's beautiful. So not only did I enjoy that film, leaving it at the top, for sure, the top horror film, Piggy. Piggy was fantastic. Piggy's about this large woman. Large women were being represented at Fantastic Festival. Between Piggy and Family Dinner, there were some movies about some large women, and these large women were not too large women to think you can take advantage of. Like, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, like, both of these women were their own storms in these films that were about them. And it's crazy. Family Dinner I enjoy, not as much as Piggy, but there are some parallels, of course, of course the weight is an issue. One is trying to get weight taken care of, the other is just really trying to deal with her day-to-day of bullying and things. But when it comes to Piggy, you meet this young lady who is, in a sense, saved from bullying from a possible killer. And even though she knows this horrendous act has happened, it's almost like she becomes a protector for this killer because of what he did for her. It's no joke. Family Dinner, young lady, her aunt used to be like, or it's like an aunt-in-law, I believe. It used to be like one of the top, like, nutrition writing books in the world. And it's dietitian. Everybody used to follow her weight loss advice. She stays with her for a week, hoping that she'll take her on as like a client, help her start losing some weight. There's a very weird dynamic between their son and this young lady, and then even with the mom. There's some people who are not who they really seem to be, and then there's some very strong masculine portions of the film that make you very uneasy when you see how this young lady is being treated. Both women, beautiful women too. Like, regardless of their size, their facial expressions and emotions that they were delivering through the films were flawless. So I mean, I'm a huge fan of both of the ladies, the two front leading ladies in both Piggy and Family Dinner. But for sure, Piggy, I would say, would be the top horror film. The very Scream-esque driven original story by Kevin Williamson movie, Sick, amazing. Uh, your easy slasher, just tons of fun. I wanted to like Kids vs. Aliens a little bit more, but I still think people are going to get a kick out of most of the film. That opening sequence was probably one of the best things of the entire festival. And then, yeah, man, the performance of the young lady, Natalia Solin, I think is her last name. I'm going to be trying to have her on the next episode of this podcast. Just trying to set up an interview with her right now. She had to go to Spain to be in Stygius. Her performance in Huesera was fantastic. It's beautiful. It's everything you wanted from a leading person in a film filled with just dread and just uneasiness. And oh man, still cracking my neck now thinking about that movie, right? So yeah, the movies, just to put it all in a nutshell, couldn't go wrong with anything you stepped inside of. And a lot of surprises throughout as well. So then, moving on from there, the overall event, like I said, was set up so nice. The Highball hosted some of the parties. There was a Paramount party for Smile. There was a party for the Satanic Hispanics film, which, boom, boom, got the hat still right there. There was a party for Hi-YAH, which is that Kung Fu channel. You see like a lot of Well Go USA movies and things like that on there. And then, yeah, you had live podcasts. Maybe one day we'll be able to do something like this up there, right, people? Let's get it going. You also had trivia nights. You had live performances by karaoke groups and other bands. The very first night, there was this like drum circle group, very dark, mysterious drum circle group. And then it was just kind of like the place to hang out and relax in between the films. If you like somebody like me, I would watch a movie, have about an hour in between, get some work done, go see the next movie. So the Highball, biggest thing with the Highball was like trying not to drink too much while you were there, man. And man, there were some people that were surviving, man. I was trying to keep myself to like a 2 to 3 for the whole entire day. You know what I'm saying? Minimum. Like, I was like, when I got to like my third drink of the day, I was trying to make sure that I was walking into my last movie of the night. But I know some people were getting 2 to 3 drinks a movie. There were some people that were not even going to movies. They were just like in the Highball with the representation of whatever film they were there for. And they were just enjoying life, man, and kicking it and drinking. And most of those people made it all the way to like Wednesday. Because when you walked in on Wednesday, the day before the last day, it was a graveyard inside of the Highball. I mean, you're on speaking terms with the bartenders, and they know exactly what you want. I'm trying to switch up my stuff as much as possible, man. You know my gauntlet. I went from a gin and tonic to a whiskey sour to screwdrivers if I needed to, or a morning one, a Bloody Mary here and there. Thought about doing a White Russian, didn't do a White Russian. No, man, adult beverages, and then of course like Hefeweizen, Pilsners, whatever type of crisp lagers that were available. I tried, but like I said, I was not gonna allow myself to just like gorge and fall victim to that, because I've heard all the horror stories. I've seen some. I've been a part of most of the groups for Fantastic Fest since its inception, so I've seen photos. And I was like, I'm not going to be one of those photos. I will dictate whatever photos I'm in. But yeah, the after parties were all great. The private parties were all great. PR people, if I may. Now, this is going to be the part that most of the people who actually watched this 15-minute podcast, which we're going to be wrapping up here pretty soon. Fonz PR, Brad, Kennedy, Rosa, like, love you guys. Thank you so much. Justin Cook, all the Prodigy people, Emma, Rob, like, thank you guys all so much for setting up the interviews, for getting me in the door, getting me my press credentials. I appreciate you so much. And I'm going to leave it at that because I know most people are like, who the fuck are these people you're talking about? These are the people who get me in the door, though. And these are the people who email me every day, and these are the people who are giving me the stories to put on Horror Movies Uncut website every day. And don't forget, make sure, regardless if you're watching the podcast, following us on any of the social media, subscribe to our website, Horror Movies Uncut. That is where all of this stuff is fueling from. That is our mothership, HMUNCUT.com. Okay? Make sure you find us there and subscribe. And then subscribe to all our social media platforms. So yeah, to wrap it all up, there's one thing that I could take away from Fantastic Fest: unity, community. You know, we were amongst our people, those nerds who love films, who love big monster movies, who love creepy thrillers, who love very thoughtful, engaging dramas, heartfelt romance thrillers like Decision to Leave. Yeah, man, you're amongst your people when you're doing stuff like Fantastic Fest. So 100% thankful for all of you guys for being down there too, because we had great conversations. There's like not a conversation, and everybody is, what did you see? What did you like? What did you didn't like? Justin ass running around asking everybody what you hate. And I'm like, come on, man, really? Why we got to use that word around here? Smile, as we talk about the big film of the festival to kind of wrap a bow on all this. One word: surprising. And I think that sentiment was felt by everybody that walked out of those 3 theaters after we saw the movie. What expectations other people had going in, I have no idea. When I was walking in the theater, the only thing that I said to myself was, I hope the reason the people are smiling isn't stupid. That's right. I was like, that's as much as I can hope for. Just don't be something dumb. The most surprising thing about the film was that the execution of how they gave you the explanation of the smile worked. So even though the end was kind of like, ooh, larger than life, it still worked because of how it's got set up leading to. It wasn't a, all over the place, discombobulated, if that's even a word. I don't even know if that's a word. It wasn't all over the place. It was right there what it needed to be. So it's worth it. It's entertaining. For sure, go see it. I think we gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So we always say anything over 3, for sure, go see. But man, we're happy to be here. Video platform. Fantastic Fest. Thank you once again. I'm Travis, Horror Movies Uncut, man. I'm going to try to keep these under about 20 minutes every single time because I know y'all ain't going to be watching. Look for the next one. I'll be promoting the next one. I will hopefully be having someone on the other side of the screen. Some interviews, some guests. I'm going to be reaching out to some of my previous writers because they're still out there doing their thing. Big shout out to Stacy Beth. Big shout out to Adrian, Heather, everybody, man. Daniel, Kristen, everybody. So catch you on the next one. Have a lovely rest of your day. Have a happy Friday. Go out, see some horror movies. The Loneliest Boy in the World is available to watch this weekend. It's an adorable fantasy zombie movie. It's cute. Right? Okay, that comes out actually Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that. The new Hellraiser is out tonight. Didn't really like that, but it's on Hulu for free, so watch it. Yeah. Other than that, Some Like It Rare. Vegans, do not watch it. People who want to watch a crazy movie about a butcher who finds out human meat is the best type of meat in the world to eat, check it out. That's out right now. Some Like It Rare. Other than that, I will see you next time. 2 fingers, folks.